Alrighty.
We're live. It's been forever.
We're live for the first time in 2024. We are excited to be here.
We are.
This is the Ashley and Gus show.
Hello.
And today we're going to talk about something really cool. We're going to talk about networking and your network. Your network is your net worth. So we want to catch up on everything we're doing.
I know. It's been a while.
It has been a while.
Last time? I think
it was November.
Wow.
Maybe no, it was December. Last time we were here was December. Anyway.
We have the trio?
So no, we didn't have the trio. We're so cool. So this is relevant. We've got a lot of new projects going on for 2024. Probably the most exciting and thing that's happening the quickest is I was invited to co-author a book.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it's called Hooked on Networking. Literally a half hour ago, I got to hear first samples of the audio book that we've had a nice Australian gentleman read for us.
No, I was like, I kind of wanted. I was like a little disappointed that you guys didn't ask me to read it, but I got it.
Yeah, when would you have had that 2, 3, 4 hours to do that? Anyway,
I wouldn't.
Yeah. Anyway, so tonight's theme is networking. I'm going to kick the camera. Is networking and your net worth. We haven't done this in a while. We want to share some of our experiences, some of our why we're doing this. Oh, in conjunction with that, Ashley and I, and a longtime acquaintance of mine,
Shannon
Johnson, have relaunched a series called Breakfast with the Boss.
Yay!
This is for people who are CEOs of companies that are $5 million and above with 10 plus employees. And in conjunction with that, because we've had such requests, we've also launched Brunch with the Boss. These are both virtual networking hours that are taking place. And even more exciting, someone who's a master of networking, John Assaraf, is going to be our first speaker at both of those events.
Whoa.
If you don't know who he is, look up John Assaraf. He's pretty cool. Anyway.
He is.
What do you have to add, Ash? What else is going
on? Wow. Well, let's see. In the time that I think the last time we went live, we've added 3 or 4 different products to our product line with utility events. So it's funny, you do that and you think, oh, this is easy, right? It's no big deal. And then you realize it's opening up a lot of opportunity for folks in our market, which is terrific. And now it's just this flood of okay, I got to let everybody know. So it's a little overwhelming, but it's exciting too, because it's one of the products is purely virtual. So it's the opportunity to be able to connect with people once a month over Zoom. So for some of the utility folks that we've heard who said, hey, we just can't get on a plane, or we just can't take the time out of the office. This provides something to go. Again, it's virtual. So that plus the in-person conferences, it's just, there's so much going on.
So you said you have to let people know. Would that be fair to say you have to let your network know?
I'm letting my network know
yes.
that we have new products. And it's funny too, because I'll call somebody I haven't talked to in a while and they're like, oh, we can't make it to the conference this year. And I'm like, that's okay. That's not why I'm calling. I've got this other thing I want to tell you about.
Yeah.
So.
And it's been wildly successful.
It has. It's really
crazy. We have a former team member come back to help us out. We're building out. We're a team of 5 these days and building stronger. We're bringing on 3 more people within the first 180 days of this year. And we're super excited.
We are. There's a lot going on, but it's exciting. We're really excited for 2024. It's going to be very strong, and we want it to be strong for you. And we believe that just building and nurturing your network is probably one of the smartest investments of your time. It also makes you feel good. It makes me feel good as a person. Sometimes I have to, even I'm like, oh, I have to go to that networking event tonight, which is crazy. You'd think we would be like, oh yeah, networking. We do this all the time. But sometimes I'm like,
but it's way bigger than that, though.
Right.
It's way bigger than just
what do you mean?
Going to a networking event.
Yeah.
I now have 3, 4 networking companies, and a book.
Well, that's it.
An audio book.
So lately, what I've been doing that's a little bit different from what I used to do. I used to get on the phone with everybody anyway, but I'm a little more systematic about it now. And at first, I was just sort of overwhelmed. Okay, that's a lot of people to call. But when I realized, but this is my purpose, right? I'm excited to let them know about this. And sometimes we get lost in the email. We get lost in, direct messaging or lost on posts on LinkedIn. So this is like my chance.
But it's fair to say that you and I are building our network wherever we go. We're always growing our network. We're always trying to give back to our network. We could be. I mean, it happens often for us. We're at a local bar, restaurant, something like that, and we're talking to everybody there. We're learning who they are. That leads to other opportunities. It leads to more and more opportunities.
It does, and that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I know my network and being, I'm the events guy, and my network led to 4 pre-holiday phone calls from people I haven't heard from in a while.
That's right.
Asking for my help on some things, and I was excited to help them and get them to the next level. I was thinking back, like I'll ask you, Ash, what's a networking opportunity you had, or what's something you've gained from your network? A story that was something like it wouldn't have happened if you didn't have your network.
Oh, that's a really good question.
I can answer.
Go ahead.
For me.
I'm like, I'm going to have to sit with that one for a minute.
So until 2002, we're going back some years. Prior to that, from the time I left college to the time I was in the workforce, I had worked half the time for myself and half the time for other companies, and sometimes for Fortune 500 companies. And from the early 90s till 2002, I think I had 3 corporate jobs. My network provided those jobs for me. I didn't have to apply. I had to do the paperwork, but people came to me, or I went out to the world and said, "Hey, I'm looking for something else," and my network provided the opportunities for those jobs. So one of the things that I can say, when you have a network and the people you hang around with, don't burn bridges, and you never know, someone might be in your network that's not worth it, or not really, you don't see the value today, but in the future that value comes.
Right. They may step up and grow, and then there's an opportunity to work with them where you guys kind of collide. And it's happened with me. I mean, certainly, somewhat recently. In fact, I'm thinking about waxing a little poetic here. About a year ago, not today, but a year ago tomorrow, we held the Power Conference to Advance Women in at Aventura, Florida.
And that's a pretty powerful network. I was there.
I was just about to say, I was just thinking, like, man, the women that I met, the women who spoke at the conference who I met, and then the women who were in the room, just wow. I mean, really amazing women who, they would probably say I did whatever I felt, was right for me at the time in terms of growing my business or changing my career. But just having that opportunity to meet with them, get to know them better, and have that experience with them was pretty amazing. So, hey, Jesse. But yeah, that was really cool. And of course, Jessie actually had a lot to do with that conference. She did most of the creative for it. So thank you. Because I'm running it again, and it looks really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's an example. And then again, I mean, it's just like, I'm calling these folks about these new products, and I'm like, hey, they're friends now because we've gotten to know them. And it's like, hey, how's your new boyfriend? Or how was line dancing last Thursday? And how was, we're friends on LinkedIn, and we're also friends on Facebook. And I always think that there's something really cool about that. When you have that level of blurred lines. So, we love you too, Jesse.
Yeah. So anyway, networking is your net worth.
A little bit more about that. Okay.
I'm typically thinking our net worth is our assets, our homes, our bank accounts, and things like that. But the people in your network are actually your real net worth. Yeah. They're the people who help you get to the next level in your life, and you help them get to their next level. Right?
Definitely. Absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, I can say for the people that we have in our lives, we're always looking for ways to help them grow. Like, is there an opportunity we can help you find? Is there, just somebody that we can help you connect with that can help you grow to the next level? And
I hear Ashley says this a lot more than I do, and I have to get better at it. What can I do for you? I hear you say that 7-8 times a day. You probably talk to more people than I do during the day.
That's okay.
I probably talk to more people when we're out in person, but she talks to more people.
What can I say?
She's got me slaving on the. She's got me doing all the back end work on our business, please. So that's what I'm doing. So
he's doing such a good job. Thank you. I appreciate
it. Anyway.
But yeah, no, I do. I ask what we can do, and I mean,
I also hear you say, what do you need?
Yeah, but it's funny because it's like sometimes you sit there and you're just like, I don't know, or like I don't know what would be a value for me. But even knowing that I've asked the question, or for them to know like somebody cares and wants you to take that next step and do something amazing and be at that next level. And sometimes they don't know because they haven't surrounded themselves with people who are asking those types of questions.
And today it's easy, so easy to build your network because we do so much on social media.
It's easier.
In the last 4 years since COVID first happened, I'll say 3 years and 10 months. Yes. We met a lot of people virtually through platforms like this and over Zoom calls and things like that. And then we met them virtually and we communicated with them for a couple of years, and then we met them in person. And the crazy part was they were no different.
Nope.
The same,
neither were we.
Neither were we. The same feeling came out. The same people.
Skinnier in person. Ha ha ha. Right? Oh, I'm trying to change my position. I'm like not working.
You're not comfortable here?
No.
Anyway.
No, my legs like, ugh. Anyway.
We're in our studio, which is someplace we're not normally in. It'd be weird, but we have a studio. We should be in here more.
Well, we did have an internet issue.
Oh, yeah. We have a new internet. That's why.
Uh-huh.
That's why it works up here now.
So it's good that we're back here because it's sort of like stopped coming up to here. Like, okay, we have a studio we can't use. It's stuck. So
I got another cool networking story.
You do? Yeah. I bet you've got like 100. The one thing, if you know anything about Gaz, he's got lots of stories.
And my network story, or what my network provided for me.
Yes, bring it.
My first real career out of college was working for an oil company, and my dad happened to be one of the big managers there. Actually, big manager. He was a VP. He was a big VP on one part of the business. I worked on the other side of the business. He was on operations. I worked on sales development, and I had a customer who was very demanding, and the guy bought like the equivalent of a candy bar from me a year, and he wanted like
his annual Snickers.
Yeah, the annual Snickers, and he wanted like the best gift that we could offer to our most loyal customers. And I went to my father, and again, he wasn't part of the thing. My father was he still is great, a great communicator, great customer service guy. And I said, Dad, this guy's being unreasonable. I said, I don't have the budget to give this out of my side of the business. What should I do? He said, take care of the customer. Give him what he wants. Do what he wants. Fast forward 4 years later, that gentleman who I provided that gift for from the business was my initial funder, providing the funds for one of my businesses. And it was so that
you took care of the customer.
Maybe $50 gesture turned into, 6 figures worth of investment money.
And I think it's fair to say you weren't expecting that.
Not from him.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. There you go. Well, and that's it, right? I mean, it's I think in some ways we get so jaded and concerned that we're going to be taken advantage of, that somebody's going to misuse our generosity. And obviously, have your checks on that. But really, in the end, if you were going to give it anyway, give it generously, and then if that person will at some point realize, maybe most of the time they'll realize that you brought value to them, and they'll want to do the same for you. So,
all right, anyway. let's talk a little bit like real stuff here.
Real stuff.
What can your network? What can a good, strong network provide?
Lots of things. So
job
opportunities, business opportunities,
new clients,
and just having a group of people who kind of get you is nice. Like, so that you can just go real talk when, maybe the stuff's hitting the fan. Or like, oh, wow, I'm really having a problem with this. And not everybody has somebody they can go to and say, wow, I'm really having a problem with this.
Oh,
so
I've heard lately, in the last couple of years, collaboration is the new currency.
It is.
So your network, you collaborate with your network. We actually, and I have collaborated with those people over the last few years, and we're collaborating with Shannon. And
we are.
And I brought the book, my network from
your network
from book. Quite a few years ago. brought me an author opportunity. So now I'm an author.
There you go.
How do you feel about that?
I think it's kind of hot.
Yeah, okay. The book's kind of cool.
I'm a little jealous.
The book's coming out in less than
me.
The book's coming out in less than a month. We'll keep you
exciting.
posted. So it's super
something to get your honey for Valentine's Day.
If you ask nicely, I'll sign it.
That's why I want to listen to the. Here, give me a Sharpie. All right.
Yeah. Your network can also bring you knowledge you might not need. I mean, shit, I see this all day long on Facebook. Who has a recommendation for a plumber? Hey, I need a new car. Does anybody know someone? I saw this the other day. I need a house. I'm looking for an apartment in such and such an area.
You never know who knows somebody, and that's exactly why we do the same thing. I mean, if we need something or if we're looking for something, we'll pop it out there and just say, hey, does anybody know somebody who? And generally our network comes together.
The only thing that keeps you from your dreams and goals is your lack of knowledge. If you knew how to do what you want, you'd already be doing it. Correct?
That was kind of mentioned at my call today.
Oh, yes. Really? Your network
will... If you knew how to get to where you wanted to be, you would have gotten there by now. Or if your behavior led... If your previous behavior led to your dreams, you would have already achieved them by now. So you need to do something differently.
And that network can be huge.
Absolutely. So I think it's really interesting because when we talk about this with people, they get a little, oh yeah, sure. Or that person would never talk to me, or why would they want to get in a conversation with me or something. And what we usually do is just like remind them like, well, first of all, we're all people, like we're all human beings. We're all, right. We all need something, want something. And we also want to give something. And I think one of the things that we try to focus on when we're coaching somebody to just approach someone, it's like, ask them what they need. Ask them how you can be of value to them. Ask them what they, what's something that you're struggling with. Now, if I ask that question and they say, oh, well, I've got this issue, if I can do something about it, I'll do something about it. If I know somebody who can do something about it, I'll see if I can connect them. And if there's just nothing I can do, I'll just say, wow, I have no idea.
But you also say,
I'll keep my ears open and see if something comes up and I make a connection, I'll reach back out and say, hey, I heard this person was looking and you've got this issue. So why don't the two of you talk? And again, it's not with the expectation of getting anything out of it. I don't expect to hear, for somebody to send me a check, but it just knowing that somebody's, paying attention.
Well, realistically, you and I building our network is part of our daily business.
Yeah.
And it's our life. Well, it's just something we need to do. We understand this so intuitively that we just constantly build that network, and we constantly keep the people. We'll talk about it a little further. Nurturing your network, we constantly nurture the network and constantly try to grow it. Almost, what's the word I'm looking for? Subconsciously. We
don't even think about it. We just do it, and then there are times where we don't think about it, and we realize, oh. What happened to such and so, or I don't know, or we drop the ball on something. It happens. It's not a perfect science, but for sure, I think it's something that we're always trying to be good at because it's just part of who we are. Both of us have a very similar purpose in our seeking to connect people and to help other people connect with each other and.
So if you belong to any group, and let's just think about this: positive groups, networks are positive things. I see a lot of negative things on.
I see plenty of negative
on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or X platform formerly known as Twitter. I see a lot of negative things there. Build a positive network. If you're, business owners group in South Jersey or wherever you're located. I don't know why I picked South Jersey anyway. randomly
Because you're
pick something.
from there? That's
San
not that
Diego,
random.
San Diego. I don't know. Anyway,
Okay.
Hong Kong.
All right, let's go.
The watch group, whatever
Okay.
it is, Lamborghinis. Anyway, you're in a network. You've built a network,
Yeah.
and you're in those specialty networks. And the more special, the more specialty they are, the more concise the information you get out of those networks. But if you have a Lamborghini that's 30 years old and you're missing a part and you're in a Lamborghini network, I'm sure you can ask the network,
Who
what's
you
the
gonna
best way? Yeah, who you
call?
going to call? What's the best way to get that part for my car?
This is not an issue that we have, by the way. I guess it's just using that as an example.
No, our Lamborghini is perfectly fine.
Okay. I was going to say, is this something on the vision board I haven't seen?
Anyway,
But it's all good. It's all good.
Anyway, so some ways to build your network groups online. These are online groups. There are dozens, if not, I say dozens. There are thousands of Zoom meetups each week. Get involved with some. Ashley and I are in probably. Ashley and I host two, and we're probably in another 6 or 7 that we attend on a regular basis. And that's a network. And some of them are quite large and some are not as large. You could create your own network. That's really stepping out there. But if you're interested in something and you don't find a need for that, create your own network.
Well, it can be just a group of friends who, somebody may have moved away. Hey, it'd be great to get, an opportunity every
groups.
Week and every couple of weeks to just gather again on Zoom, just to catch up with each other is nice. What's such and so doing, and how's that going? And
and a lot of times, just by who you are and what you're identified by. I mean, I don't talk about it much, but I went to Penn State. Me and
a gazillion other people.
Right here,
like the largest alumni group.
1 out of 10 people in the U.S. have a degree, or 1 out of 10 degrees or certificates in the U.S. comes from Penn State. It's something crazy.
We are.
But I get, on LinkedIn, I don't think a week goes by where I don't, hey, fellow Penn State alumni, we should do business together. And, I don't know what they're doing and stuff like that. I'm in that network, whether I want to be or not. But I it's
if you didn't want to be, you could take it off your LinkedIn profile. But it's good, right?
I went to Harvard.
There you go.
Actually, I've got certificates from Harvard.
You should put them up there. You're going
to
get all sorts of people saying, hey, we went to this together. I think it's fun. I mean, I look, I find people who went to Drexel University, which is where I went to college. And it's like, oh, hey, Dragon. If I'm looking to connect with them for some reason, and it's fun to have that common bond for sure, and then see how you can make another bond. But and that's a way to do it. I know when we talk about going to networking events, and I don't know how many
in-person networking events. That's next level.
Events.
Going out there to an event that's called networking. I actually run business networking events.
We haven't done one in a while.
We haven't done one in a while, but
well, it's funny because so somebody was just like, well, what do you do with the business cards? And some people don't have business cards, and how do you connect with them? And like, how do you follow up? How do you make a meaningful connection with those people? And really, it's just about sort of finding, you don't need to make a meaningful connection with every single person that you meet at a networking event. But if you get a chance to connect with like 5 or 10, and you realize there's a potential that you guys can do some business together.
10 would be a lot.
10 would be a lot. It depends.
I mean,
for most networking events, it's usually like a couple hours.
Hardcore networking tactics.
Okay.
Ashley and I go to a lot of events, and not just networking events. We go to social events. We're going to a charity social event.
Addiction.
That we're actually going to a charity event, the Black Tie Tailgate that's coming up this week that we're actually sponsors of. We're super excited about that. But Ashley always asks me the same question before we go to the event. We're usually in the car. We're usually like last minute getting there, or wherever we're getting there, walking over. What's your goal? What's your goal for this event?
What's your goal for this event? I just think it's good to have it front of mind before you walk in.
And sometimes my goal is just to have a couple martinis.
Good time.
And a good time. But
see some old
other
friends.
times, I like to connect with. There might be somebody that I know is going to be in that room.
Right.
I like to connect with that person.
Yep.
Then there might be other times where the network becomes, the network presents itself to you, and you didn't realize that you were going to be there. It happened with last year. We were at an event, and I don't know if you know who Larry Maggard is, but he basically invented the I'll call it large format concert
Yeah.
scene. He after Woodstock, he started creating huge concerts, and he's retired, still has his hands in the business. But I had an opportunity to meet him and exchange business cards with him. I got Larry on Rolodex. I mean, I say Rolodex. I mean, I haven't had a Rolodex in 30 years. I got Larry's name on my phone, so I can call, if I needed to. But I'd have to have something special to reach out to him with. I wouldn't just say, "Hey, Larry, how do we do business together?" I would bring him. I would bring the higher up someone is in a network, and let's just say we'll pull somebody big, either Mark Cuban, Elon Musk. If you want to gain Mark Cuban or Elon Musk time, you better have a solution to a $1 billion problem or an opportunity in a $1 billion market that you control and he can't control.
Right. And instead of throwing your hands up and saying, well, that's never going to happen, just think about it for a little bit. You might be onto something or working on something or know somebody who's working on something that could be the magic connection, right? So it's not necessarily you as much as it might be somebody that you know who is, can come together and collaborate on an opportunity. So that's still a value, right? Just thinking about how you can be a value to other people and what you can bring for them and what you can do for them. And that's when the magic happens. And it's not about expecting something from them. It's not like, man, I introduced those two and they had some $1 billion thing go on and they didn't even call me or thank me or anything. Like, it's not about that.
That's a good point. You can't take advantage or cheat your network. You cannot. Right. You can't.
No, you can't. But,
just like friends and family.
But you can't expect people to just be like, oh, it's all because of you. I mean,
this is a slow build. This is not an immediate. This is to build trust. You're creating relationships. You're creating a long term.
It is. It's take your time.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I would say is business focusing on quality over quantity. This isn't about meeting tons and tons of people. It's and if you're an introvert,
I'm just going to talk about that. Yeah.
Okay. Like, there's a way to do this. It's not as horrific. I know this sounds like torture. But there are ways there. One of the things that I say about the conferences that we produce, especially the women in utilities conferences that we do, I call it the comfortable space to get out of your comfort zone. Because everybody says, like, in order for you to grow, in order for you to get to the next level, you have to sort of nudge yourself out of your comfort zone. But sometimes that just sounds really awful. And why would I want to do that? But coming to a conference like ours, it's a very supportive place. It's a very supportive network of women who are all looking to help each other. And I think what we've done is we've gotten used to being around people who kind of either pull us down or encourage us to stay comfortable. And
I know something. I mean, a couple of things you can do. And if you're especially if you're an introvert, and
I don't know what that's like. Actually, I used to. We both used to be.
Yeah, I'm pretty.
We were both really shy.
I can sit in the corner and not participate, and I actually, but I find that boring, so I have to get out there. I do it more out of I don't want to be bored than other things. But there's a couple of things. So if you're a little bit introverted but not afraid to open your mouth a little bit, there's this thing called FORM, and it's an acronym for Family, Occupation, Recreation, and Money, and you can ask questions on any four of those subjects: family, occupation, recreation, and money, and start a conversation. But if you're an introvert, most likely you're going to have trouble starting a conversation. So there's two things that I highly recommend, even at a conference.
I'm so curious.
Get a buddy system.
Yes.
Find a buddy.
It is good to do that.
And, so I hate to say tag team, but go around and introduce.
Wingman, wingwoman.
Yeah. You get somebody.
I've done this.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Go around. The other thing you do, and this is a little bit more out of comfort zone, but it's still within a comfort zone. Go to the people who are running the event. Go to the front desk or somebody, if you're a check-in or something like that, conference.
Yep.
We have people going, hey, I don't know anybody here. I'm a little uncomfortable like this. Don't be afraid to say that. I've had it said to me probably hundreds of times. who should I know, or can you point me in the right direction? And then usually conference organizers, if it's Ashley and I, who do you want to meet? What would be a great contact for you? Let me, and it always ends the same way. Let me introduce you to, when we ran the Ultimate Networking event, and we still own the company, we haven't ran an event since before COVID, but we will. When we ran Ultimate Networking, we had networking ambassadors. These were people who knew a lot of people in the room, and we would tag up. We would take new attendees to the event and introduce them to an ambassador, and have the ambassador introduce them to other people in the room. So we took the easy way of networking out of it.
Which was great. I mean, for anybody who was new to the group or maybe a little introverted,
to this day.
Yeah. I mean, it was just like to be able to say, don't worry about it. We've got you covered. I'm going to ask you a few questions, and then I'll make sure that you meet the people in the room who I think you would be a good match with in terms of your businesses. And then hopefully the conversation gets flowing. And yes, I keep cutting you off. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say, go back to nurture your network. Those ambassadors all had huge networks.
Yes,
they were all masterful networking women and men, and they become your extended network.
Absolutely.
It's like
everybody that you meet. So the better you get to know really good networkers, the more you're going to get more opportunities coming your way, because it's just good to be around people who are well connected, because those well connected people generally have a good idea of what people want and need.
We lean a lot of this towards business, but it could be your personal life too.
Absolutely.
I mean, a lot of relationships are founded by people within their networks.
We did.
Yeah. I didn't think that.
Yeah.
We did. Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
So anyway, it's so what's some ways, Ash, you could invest in your network?
Invest in my network. Well, I mean, one of them is just to keep in touch, like take time to contact these folks, reach out to them, and just kind of, hey, Happy New Year. What can I do for you? Or what's your big goal in 2024? What can I do to help you achieve your goals? I try to go through people who matter to me, people who are important to me, and just reach out to say, hey, I'm still here and I'm thinking about you. And I hope everything's going well. So I think that's one way to invest. And then, getting together or letting them know there's an event coming up, like just constantly inviting them to do something with you, I think is another way to
and make sure they're valuable for you too.
Absolutely.
I'm going to tell you something I do. I'm really good at it. I've been doing it since about 2000.
Gus keeps a list.
I do. I keep a list.
Tell him about it.
I keep a list of 10 people. Sometimes there's 12. Currently, I say people. Currently, it's mostly couples, because Ashley and I want to be around people who are successful. We want greater success for ourselves. Some of these couples that are on my list are maybe don't quite have the success we have yet, but we see potential in them. And others on the list are household names. And in my experience, I've actually have had household names on there in the past, and then now they're part of my network. Like, have phone numbers for these. You could call them celebrities that are on my list. That started as a, I'd like to get to know this person better, this couple better, and then all of a sudden I found myself standing there face to face working on. And the reason that is because I had asked what value could I provide to their network, and then I would figure out a way to do that.
We've had some opportunities and we've had some opportunities we would have absolutely never have had if we weren't willing to lean into that too, right? So kind of identifying the people we wanted to hang out with, but also seeing opportunities. It was just like, ooh, yeah, let's try that.
I mean, I've told this story before, but I'll mention it again. When I first took on this concept, I I was at a challenging point in my life, and I decided I needed to do something about it. And I picked up a book that was written by a friend of mine, and realized I had never read his book. And I knew the concept of surrounding yourself with the people, but I never took it to heart or never did anything about it. So I decided to put 10 people on the list, and this was between Christmas and New Year's Day in 2011. Within And I looked at each one of these people on this list, and some of them there's one's a household name. There's one's who's a household name on there, and I looked at these people, and I asked, what could I do for them? And I reached out to all 10 of them, and within 3 weeks, no joke, 3 weeks, I was doing business or in a stronger relationship with 8 of them. One of them led to the sale of my company. I think still in business with or doing things with 5 of them. The cool thing these days, our network, we talk about it. It doesn't look like um, our business and our family and friends network, more our friends network. We're all together, and we don't see it as business or friendship. It's just it's just relationships.
It's just one big old bucket.
Yeah, it's just all we're doing.
And that's really because of who we are. I mean, we're not. I've definitely met people who are very. This is what I do when I'm at my office. This is what I do when I'm at home, and I do not let those two cross. We are not those people. We're there, standing there with the paddle, mixing everybody together, and I just think, and that's probably just.
And we protect that too, though. We protect that
totally.
network, and sometimes I put names on the list. It's kind of funny. Sometimes I look at this list every 6 weeks. Sometimes
it's
I put
very intentional.
I put names on the list.
I'm like, oh yeah, it's a good idea. And
like 6 weeks later, and I go, what was I thinking putting those people on there?
Well, there you go.
They had no game. I mean, I thought they had game. They had no game.
It's nice to find out, though, right?
But, yeah.
There we go. We're kicking all sorts of things.
We lost the mic because we did that.
Oh.
So anyway,
what else is there to say?
Oh, here's something I've done recently. I've done it all the time, but someone in my network asked me for a solution. I gave them my expertise on an event that was, and I did for pro bono. I mentored someone in my network, and it was 6 figures the opportunity that the person made out of what I gave them information on.
Right.
And I didn't ask for anything. I don't want anything. I want them to be happy. I want them to be successful. It'll come back.
Yeah. And if not from them, from somebody. But yeah, I mean, and I think that's that's just something that we try to do is we offer advice. We're here to offer our wisdom to folks. And if we can help, we can help.
There's a good one. I did this. I did this between Christmas and New Year's.
What'd you do?
Celebrate your connection successes. Ashley and I have a couple who is actually on. They're on my list, and they were number 2 in their organization after only being with the organization for a couple of years. I mean, the company,
as far as their sales,
sales and success
within their big successful. Yes, they've been killing it.
They've been killing it, and literally.
So we did what we
literally.
Could
I reached out to them and just said, "Hey guys, great job, man! Your success is phenomenal."
Well, and that's it. When you realize that there are people in your life who are watching you and rooting for you, that's exciting, right? Those are the people that you want in your corner. Those are the type of people that you want in your network, for sure. So, and I think it's important too to just you keep in touch with these folks. You set up a call with somebody you haven't talked to in a while. See where they are. Have they? Are they pushing themselves? Are they not? And that can be a difference. And we're all at different places at different times in our lives too. So I think it's always good to just kind of do a quick reach out and just say, hey, what's going on? And if you feel like somebody's given up on their life, obviously do what you can to help. But what I mean in terms of just checking in on them and seeing if there's some way that you can help them.
Yeah.
So
And sometimes people do need a little bit.
they do. They need a boost, or just to know that again that like you're in their corner and you're there to help. And well, what can I do to help you get to that next level? Who can I connect you with? Is it a job? Is it a person? Is it a group? Is it something? So always trying to do that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. I think we should wrap this up.
Okay.
I'll say thank you to
Thanks for
everybody.
joining us.
We got the book coming out soon. We've got the new Breakfast with the Boss, Brunch with the Boss, 2 series. One's happening in next week. The other one's happening the following week.
Right. If you have any questions about that, just send us a message in, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, where else?
Right here where you saw us.
Right. Wherever you saw us, just reach out to us. And we'll make sure you get a link to that because it's pretty cool with John Ashley.
And Ashley's got the virtual accelerators coming up this week and next week.
I've got a Women in Utilities action call. The women's action call is tomorrow. And then we have a skill session and mastermind coming up next week. So
excellent.
Busy.
All right.
Take care. Be well.
We're going to say goodbye.